This NFL offseason in only 2 days has already been off to a hectic start. There are so many moves going on right now around the whole entire league that it can be hard to even keep up with. Some of the wild ones being Kirk Cousins to Atlanta, Saquon to the Eagles, Derrick Henry to the Ravens. It seems like teams are going all in on improving this offseason, as it seems like every team is making new additions except the Cowboys. The Chiefs have been making their own moves as well during all of this. They were unable to make a move and sign wide receiver Darnell Mooney from the Bears as he went to Atlanta. The Chiefs haven't made a splash yet this offseason, but they have made some great moves to keep this defense intact. Like I mentioned in previous videos, the main focus needs to be keeping those core pieces on the defense together. Chris Jones and Drew Tranquill were two huge re-signings to this defense. With Willie Gay going to the Saints, Drew keeps that linebacker room deep. Willie signed for $5 million with the Saints, and I saw a lot of Chiefs fans upset that they weren't able to get a deal done with him, because just a few hours later, Mahomes and the Chiefs restructured his contract, freeing up $21.6 million in cap space. This right here is showing that Mahomes is all in on this 3P himself. He already was in talks for being underpaid as it is, but this is showing he is not worried about having the biggest contract. He's worried about championships, which is what you love to see out of any franchise quarterback. This now makes it very possible for the Chiefs to keep L'Jarius Sneed. So yes, it sucks that they weren't able to get a deal done, but this was already expected since Willie had already made a tweet after the wildcard round that it was his last game in Arrowhead potentially. Another reason why losing him won't hurt as bad, the Chiefs are bringing back defensive tackle Mike Pennel, who was the highest graded defensive tackle in the Super Bowl. He was matched up with Trent Williams the majority of the game and straight up dominated. He is a very underrated piece to this defense, and bringing him back is huge, especially having him with Chris Jones and Charles Omenihu, who will hopefully be healthy. Tommy Townsend ended up agreeing to a 2-year, $6 million deal with the Texans, and that's big money for a punter. Tommy's last punt as a Chief led to the Super Bowl touchdown, and he was a consistent good holder for Harrison Butker. Chiefs signed Matt Araiza, the quote-unquote punt god, earlier this offseason for just a little over $750,000, so that's a huge saving there, and you're still getting a good punter who has so much potential. It was known already going into this offseason that the Chiefs were going to lose a few pieces on this team in general, but what they are able to do, bringing back the core players from this defense, is huge. Mike Pennel is going down as a very underrated re-signing for this team. I'm calling it now. He is a vet that continues to play consistently high level football. Again, we saw this a lot in Super Bowl. If the Chiefs want to get back to the Super Bowl and want a three-peat, they need guys like him on the team. The Chiefs also ended up signing tight end from the Bengals, Irv Smith Jr. Signing him was the first external signing for the Chiefs this offseason, and a lot of people don't understand why this signing is huge for the Chiefs. Irv Smith Jr. adds more to this passing attack to the Chiefs offense. The Chiefs tight end group isn't the strongest either besides Kelsey. Noah Gray does a good job, but Noah Gray hasn't had a season with more than 2 touchdowns. Irv didn't have his best year either last year. He only played 12 games and recorded 18 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown. But what Irv does is make this tight end group a lot deeper. He's definitely better than Blake Bell, I would say, and he's also a free agent. I would expect him to not even return to the Chiefs this next season. Now with Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and Irv Smith Jr., this tight end group in Kansas City is deep. Irv also mostly played as a blocker when he was in Minnesota. Noah Gray has shown he can consistently make the right plays when needed as well. But this just raises the tight end room as a whole, which boosts the passing game for the Chiefs offense. This signing will help them a lot this season since he can both block and catch. They still need to make a wide receiver signing. It's similar to what happened last offseason. They needed to make a receiver, but no moves happened. I think the only receiver they signed in the offseason last year was Richie James. This year's situations are a lot different for them, but there are still some available free agents they can be looking into, like Curtis Samuel, for example. Another free agent I see a lot of people talking about is Marquise Brown, or Hollywood Brown, signing with the Chiefs. A lot of reports coming out are saying that he's interested in signing with the Chiefs, and him himself has even been liking posts about the Chiefs, or posts about him going to the Chiefs. This is interesting because Hollywood Brown didn't have the best season last year. He also didn't have a consistent quarterback the whole entire year on the Cardinals until the end of the season last year. But we've seen a lot of good things from Hollywood Brown throughout his whole entire career. I remember last offseason with the Chiefs, they were also interested, but they weren't able to get a deal done with him. It'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs can come back around and sign him to a contract. I believe he would have the best career with Mahomes, but it'll just be interesting to see if the Chiefs even can afford him. I think it could be done, especially with the restructure, and I've also been hearing it could only be done if Sneed is traded. If Sneed is guaranteed being traded, then I guess it has to be done. Sneed being traded is inevitable at this point, but if they were to trade him and Marquise Brown is one of the only options, I don't think it's a bad option at all. He's a very fast and quick receiver that would fit in the Andy Reid and Mahomes offense a ton. I honestly would like the signing a lot if they could be able to get it done.